Hey everyone, welcome back to the 12th Man Inside Podcast. I'm Mo. I'm here with your boy Tommy. We have a new Seahawks season coming up. New episodes coming out. Tommy, what's up? How you been doing, man?
I've been good, been busy, doing a little bit of traveling, keeping up with the new look Seattle Seahawks, and I'm really excited to be back talking about the upcoming season ahead of us.
Man, it's been a while since we recorded. So all the fans out there that's been subscribing to YouTube, we're just really excited to be back here, and we're really excited to have another season of the 12th Man Inside Podcast. Tommy, first I want to talk about so the Seahawks have been going through this last couple of years, last decade, I would say, maybe last 6, 8 years of transition, right? And even to the end of Pete years, you kind of felt like, hey, this team is like stuck somewhere. Now we have a new roster, right? New quarterback, new offensive coordinator, a revamped offensive line. In the show, we missed talking about the draft. We missed talking about the additions. I want to break it down to and defense. Let's start with the offense, man. Where are you seeing the offense right now?
Well, to kind of bounce off what you said with those Pete Carroll years, is I think the Seahawks were just lacking identity. We didn't
Yeah,
really know who they were. They weren't a contender. They weren't tanking. They were good, average, not great. I think that's one thing that they lacked. And with this offense, you can tell that they want to establish an identity of a running team again. And from what we've seen from our first round draft pick, Gray Zabel,
dog.
um, yeah, he is living up to all the expectations and maybe a little bit more. I mean, obviously, you can only put so much stock into the preseason and what you're seeing. Teams are kind of dumbing things down schematically. You're not exactly going against the number ones all the time. And so, obviously, you want to take it with a bit of a grain of salt. But what we have seen is really promising. I haven't been this excited about a Seahawks season in a very, very long time. But yeah, Gray Zabel's been phenomenal. I mean, the holes that the offensive line have created in the run game have been phenomenal. I think they've done a
Yeah,
great job. I mean, the preseason game against the Chiefs was domination. I mean, it felt like the Bills game last year just flipped, where the
yeah,
Bills just ran all over us. We got bullied. We got bullied, and
yeah.
it looked like. And of course, we're not before everyone freaks out in the comments and stuff. Yes, it's the preseason. We weren't playing a lot of the Chiefs ones, but nevertheless, we were bullying our way through that game, and
All,
it's
all,
extremely
all, all through the
promising.
roster. Like if you look at the third team, like they were still bullying their third team, right?
Yeah, I mean it's so exciting. And in terms of offensive schematics, I haven't seen that much motion or misdirection or just eye candy pre-snap from the Seahawks offense in so long. I mean, it seems so smooth, and it's throwing off the defense, but then Sam Darnold's being intentional of where he wants to go with the ball, and it looked really smooth. And I'm hoping that they can take this momentum and carry it over. I was reading something. Oh, it was with a podcast with Sam Darnold on it. Um,
Mm.
he was
But was
talking about
was
how
Sherm or the Get Got with Mike Robb and I listened to both of them. There was the Get Got with
yeah,
Mike Robb and Marshawn.
I think it was the one with Mike Robin Marchand. He was talking about how over the past 3 weeks the offensive line has been communicating so well. It takes one guy to make one call, and then there's nothing else. It's silent. Nobody else says anything, which is a really positive development. The call's getting across. The guys know what they're doing, and they've been executing very well. And I just feel like we haven't heard that about a Seahawks offensive line in a very long time. So a lot to be excited about the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah, and speaking of Gray Zabel, man, like all that talk about, oh, he's from North Dakota State, he can't take on the same competition, and people, kind of like dumbing down his Senior Bowl. And what a way to show up, man! What a way to show up and finish, and just kind of bring that dog mentality back to the offensive line.
Yeah, I mean, he's a people mover. We're seeing it. He's a smart player too, though, and he's athletic. He's shown a little bit of athleticism. There was one play against the Chiefs where he basically hurdled over a defender that was on the ground to get to the second level, and he's just showing a lot of really really good things early on here.
Yeah, yeah. And I was listening to the radio. Daniel Jeremiah was talking about the running game, and he asked a question. He said, like, "Are we sure K9's the number one running back? Are we sure it's not Zach?" That's a good question, man.
They complement each other very well, so I'm gonna say that. I'll tell you how I'm drafting in my fantasy league zone. It's not K9.
Yeah.
Charbonnet's moving this year. He's moving different. He seems to be moving with more burst than he ever has, and he's been patient, hitting the holes well. Um, he's looking good. He's looking. I mean, but here's the thing, though. We're in an era of the NFL where you need two running backs. It's never going to be a one running back type situation given very niche circumstances, but it's really a two running back league. The best running teams in the league have two quality backs. So,
Yeah.
not a bad problem at all. I don't we don't The lucky thing for us being Seahawks fans is we don't have to pick and choose. And I think K9 gives you a little bit more explosive, can um, finish runs as in like break away and get to the end zone. And I think Charbonnet gives you more of a heavy hitting power back. But like I said, he's showing a lot more burst this year, which makes him that much more intimidating. So I like how they complement each other.
Yeah, yeah, and Daniel Jeremiah was also talking about the vision. He said, like, he was talking about how the running back position was a more of an instinctual position, and different running backs have different visions, and he felt like Charbonnet's vision, and he's a better scheme fit, because like
Mhm.
you gotta first be patient, see it, and then like hit the hole. And I think, and I agree with that, man. I think Charbonnet would get a lot of more yards than K9, or maybe we're wrong. Maybe Clint Kubiak is an offensive genius, and he designs certain plays for each running back that complements them. So
Yeah, I mean, a good coach utilizes his players to their strengths. So I do think he'll find a way to get both involved. I agree with what you said, though. I think Charbonnet is a better scheme fit with what we're trying to do this year. Now, it's not a knack on K9, but I think the two most important traits when scouting a running back are vision and burst.
yeah,
And I think Charbonnet, with the what seems like better burst, kind of passes that test in the early going here. But that's not to say that K9 isn't electric. He's very twitchy, sudden. So he'll give, Kubiak will find a way to get both involved in the right way. I do think we're going to see a lot more Charbonnet this year than we do typically when K9 is healthy. But, they're both going to have a role and they're both going to be very important for us.
yeah, yeah. Let's talk about, man, the most improved player in the preseason, in my point of view, Anthony Bradford, man. Kudos to that guy, man. He showed up for the preseason game. I don't know if that's going to translate, but man, did he play? Did he play, man? We gotta give him his
Yeah, he's
props.
playing. You know what? If I'm gonna be the guy that sits here and dogs on him when he's not playing well, I will be the guy that sits here and applauds him for playing well, and that's exactly what he's been doing this preseason. You can tell that he has improved. Maybe things got real for him, and he really started to lock in, and we're starting to see it. But he is showing really good flashes, and the Seahawks have tried to find a way for him to compete, bring in some competition, and he's still there in that right guard spot. And it looks
Yeah,
like I mean, we can only see what we see in games, but at practice, you're not just getting handed the right guard spot. So he's got to be doing some really good things at practice as well. And, it's very promising to see him potentially start to come into his own. Whether, he doesn't need to be an all pro by any means. No, no, no. But like for him to finally become capable and start to really hold his own is extremely positive development for Seattle.
yeah, yeah. And I think the scheme is gonna make it easier for him as well. Like, I think, was it Gray Zabel who called this scheme an offensive lineman's dream, right? They're like, where you attack the ball, and like the offensive line room is loving the scheme, and I think it shows to like how bad Brian Grubb was last year, and like Yeah.
Yeah, hey, best of luck to Ryan Grubb at Alabama. He's got some fun toys there, and Ryan Williams and Jam Miller and all them. So he'll be fine. He'll be fine there. But maybe he wasn't quite ready for that NFL jump yet, and that's okay. But I mean, and we haven't seen Charles Cross yet. I
No.
mean, the offensive line has looked great, but we haven't even seen our best offensive lineman yet. So definitely excited to get him back into the fold, and see what the offensive line looks like when we trot our full group out there week one. Hopefully week one.
Yeah, yeah. Week one, man, I got to see and Abe Lucas play a lot of snaps in preseason. Man, I was impressed. He looks very healthy. He looks very healthy, man. I think he might finish the season.
Yeah, I mean, a healthy Abe Lucas would be another great thing for us. And it's a long season. It's a long season, so it's hard to predict, no injuries and stuff. And we're not going to do that here, but we're going to talk about what we have right now and what we're seeing. And there's a lot of positivity around the Seahawks offensive line for the first time in maybe a decade and more. Like
Yeah,
it is. This is really fun to see, and it gets you excited, because it's finally something different.
yeah. Man, I'm really excited, man. I'm just really excited to see the 53 man roster, man. Tommy, your predictions when it comes to this wide receiver room, who makes it, who gets cut? Because it's a deep room, man.
Yeah, no, it is. It is. And a lot of guys in the preseason have been, you could tell they're competing for the spot, right? So
Yeah.
let's get them out of the way. We got
Oh,
JSN Cup.
before I ask you this question, because we didn't talk in the draft, what was your reaction when you saw Torrey Horton fall to us?
Surprised. To be honest, I kind of checked out by day three. Just got busy that weekend, and I was looking on my phone and looking at the app or the ESPN website, checking the picks, and I was honestly surprised he was still there. I didn't know, and
Yeah,
I mean, the guy's a baller. I mean, um, obviously, I've got a little bit of insider info, if I may. My roommate's a big CSU guy, and I know some people that had worked at CSU. So I've been hearing about Torrey Horton for some years, but um, for him to be there for us was a great value. I mean, it was a no brainer because I think it was obvious the Seahawks needed to maybe dabble a little bit in the receiver in the draft, and that the receivers started to kind of fly off the board a little bit. They didn't push it though, and they let Torrey Horton fall to them in the fifth. And I mean, wow, incredible value because Torrey Horton is a baller. He is
yeah,
a baller, and everyone knows that if he didn't get injured this year, he's going way higher than that. I think he's a day two pick. So
yeah,
for us to get him in the fifth is incredible value, and he's playing as such.
yeah, yeah. Man, do you think he could be one of those players that the whole league goes back in a couple of years? The whole league says, "Shit, how do we not take this guy?"
I mean, he could. Don't get me wrong. He wouldn't be the first receiver that's been very productive and great in the NFL that fell to day three. I don't want to jump the gun on that yet, just because he is going to be behind Cup and JSN this year. But man, he's showing some promising things. I mean, but he's a good compliment, right? I mean, we know JSN Cup are his players, right? Their play styles, a bit more of a precision route runners, maybe short, yards after the catch type guys. But we needed a field stretcher, and that's why we signed Marquez Valdez-Scantling, a long, lanky field stretcher, and then we drafted Torrey Horton. And Torrey Horton's giving Marquez Valdez-Scantling a good run for
Yeah,
his money right now. As a matter of fact, he might have just taken his lunch money.
yeah,
And with all due respect to Super Bowl champ Marquez Valdez-Scantling, I think Torrey Horton's going to go ahead and take that wide receiver 3 spot.
yeah,
It's everything I'm hearing is that this. I mean, if not week one, he will at some point this season, I believe. And that
yeah,
does jump to my question. That makes me jump to my question though. Where has Marquez Valdez-Scantling been this preseason?
yeah, yeah,
Because I've seen Torrey Horton get in the end zone. I've seen Jake Bobo get in the end zone. I've seen a lot of guys get in the end zone. I haven't heard from Marquez Valdez-Scantling yet. And so
yep,
I think there is some speculation that is he even going to make the 53?
yeah.
Um,
That's crazy.
he might not. He might not. And
Yeah,
I'm going to say, although I will say this, I think he does. I think he does. I think he's going to be the last receiver in the room. And the Seahawks are going to take one of their promising other receivers from the preseason, put him on the practice squad, and I think Marquez Valdez-Scantling is going to have a very short leash this season. And
Wow.
if he does not fulfill what they had hoped, then I think he'll get cut and they'll bring up the practice squad guy.
Yeah,
That's
because
just my
he has 4 million guaranteed, man.
yeah.
Yeah, the guy
You
is
just you
mhm,
don't want to light that on fire. I mean,
yeah,
you don't really just want to just throw that into the bonfire and move on. Like, I think the guy. I mean, MVS has shown he can produce in a NFL stage. Obviously, he's won Super Bowls, so there are some things there that you could like.
yep,
But
yep,
we, as Seahawks fans, have not seen it yet. And of course, we've played minimal preseason games. So let's not. I'm not here to just jump the gun, like get him out of here. Like we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes for sure. But
yeah,
I mean, the wide receiver room I think is the most competitive room right now for roster spots, and it's going to be interesting to see how those cuts play out.
yeah, yeah. Wide receiver room, the offensive line room, man. There's some speculation that people think that Christian Haynes might not make it to the 53-man roster. So a lot of people are talking about that, which is crazy. And yeah, man, you got like the tight end room. You got a couple of tight ends. You got fullbacks. Fullbacks probably like the running back room, but man, it's a competitive year, man. A lot of good players are probably going to be cut or be in the practice squad.
And you know what? That's a good thing for the Seahawks. If you have a surplus of
Mm.
talent, it's a good thing. It's a good thing. Like you guys are competing, they're getting better. Iron sharpens iron. I mean, it is ultimately a good thing, even though some of these guys probably won't make the 53-man roster. But, all these teams are watching film. If there's a guy that we don't keep and there's room on another team, they'll grab him. I mean, these guys
Yeah,
are still competing for roster spots. I mean, these guys are competing for 32 different teams worth of roster spots. They really are in the preseason. I
yeah,
mean, the pro scouts are pro scouts for a reason. They're watching
yeah,
this. They're scouting. Like, oh, this guy's going to probably get cut. Let's keep an eye out for that, and so on and so forth. So, I mean, there's scouts out there telling their GMs about players on our team right now that we haven't even cut yet. I mean,
yeah,
that's just the business of it. Everyone's ready, and it's going to be interesting though to see what that receiver room looks like. Obviously, like I said, top two are locked. We know who's going to be receiver one and receiver two this year, but after that, it does get a little fun.
yeah. It does get fun, and also like I think people with special teams ability get a leg up than people who don't have
That
special
matters.
teams. Yeah, yeah.
That
So
absolutely matters.
Jake Bobo, really good special teamer.
Can you go be a gunner on punt?
Yeah,
That might be the difference. That
that
might be
might
the
be
difference. If
true.
if you guys have similar stats, similar ability as a receiver, but one of you guys can go be a gunner on punt, I
Yeah,
can tell you where that roster spot's going. You know,
yeah,
so it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting. I'm excited for
yeah,
this final
yeah.
preseason
All
game
right, Tommy, let's talk about
because
the most important
the first one against the Raiders
position
was
in the
fun.
football team, man. Let's talk about
Yeah,
Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold. What are your expectations for
I
Sam
just want to
Darnold,
see
man?
if we
Like,
can.
because he's yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, sorry, no, sorry, I think it glitched a little bit there, but no, I
I think there was a glitch.
actually
Yeah,
was getting ready to talk. Yeah, yeah. I'm excited to see this last game to see what we carry over from the Chiefs game because the Raiders game we didn't really see a lot of our main guys, and there were some good things though, of course. And then the Chiefs game was whoa! I think all the Seahawks Twitter was blowing up over that one. And now, can we repeat that, or is that just flash and pan? So we'll have to
yeah,
see where that goes.
yeah, yeah. All right, let's talk about Sam Darnold, man. What are your expectations for Sam Darnold, man? Do you think basically what are like? Do you think it's basically like, hey, operate in the system, don't mess up, or do you think maybe Seahawks found like a diamond in the rough, maybe like a 27-year-old quarterback who finally figured out? Because like a lot of people are seeing those two like scenarios, maybe like, hey, just be our version of, you know, like a game manager, like a Brock Purdy type of person. Like don't mess up. Just do what you're told, or like some people are saying, oh no, he's finally figured out he can just replicate that Minnesota year. he can be a really good quarterback. So, what are your expectations for Sam Donald?
I think Sam Darnold is going to have a pretty good season. I know a lot of people are just one hit wonder, and sure, that's fair. I mean,
Hmm.
that's a fair thing to say. I understand why they would say that, but I think the system that we have right now, if it holds and we are able to adjust, because adjustments will be necessary, and we're not going to just be smooth moving like we do week one all season long. I think they're. I think Sam Darnold will have a good year. I think if we're able to run the ball, that's what. Let's get that out of the way right now. If we can effectively run the ball, Sam Darnold will have a very efficient season. If we
Hmm.
cannot run the ball, then we're going to have to force Sam Darnold to kind of step out of his comfort zone and maybe do more, try to take over. And that's where it might get a little shaky. You know,
Yeah,
I don't like you've got your Josh Allen's, Lamar Jackson's, Pat Mahomes of the world, right? Where they can take over a game themselves and kind of do what they do out of the system. I'm not sure Sam Darnold is an out of system quarterback, and that's
yeah,
okay. That is totally
yeah.
okay. We need to effectively run the football for that system to run smoothly, and therefore will help Sam Darnold have a good season.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But do you think like we've already seen his ceiling, or do you think like he can be that person who like
I mean, if his
where
ceiling,
you
if his
drop
ceiling
where you
is what it
drop back,
was,
yeah, where you drop back
I
40
mean, if his
times,
ceiling is,
and
yeah, he's not that guy. He's not that type of guy. And I wouldn't want if Sam Darnold is dropping back 40 times a game, we are failing like miserably.
mm,
Something went terribly wrong. I don't think Seattle wants that. I don't think Sam Darnold wants that. Like, I don't. It's
mm,
just not. If Sam Darnold's driving by 40 times a game, something is going terribly wrong. And so I don't envision that being the case. And have we seen Sam Darnold's ceiling? I mean, shoot, if last year is his ceiling and we get that again, then like okay, that's a good ceiling. That's a really good ceiling. Like we will take that. That's good quarterback play,
yeah,
and that's all you can ask for when you give a guy $100 million. Is good quarterback play, and
yeah,
so
yeah.
the rest of the team needs to do their jobs to help him out to live up to that.
Yep, yep. I agree with you. Drew Lock. I think we already know what Drew Lock is, but let's talk about Jalen Milrow, man. What did you see in the preseason from the young guy, man? Do you think like, hey, if Sam Darnold's on a short leash, like hey, if he messes up, like they're gonna put Jalen Milrow because they're hyping him up, like Mike McDonald on press conferences, like everybody's like hyping the young guy up, man. So what do you think?
I think they're seeing what we're seeing. I don't think it's bad to get hyped about what Jalen Miller has shown. I was excited when we
Mhm.
drafted him because it's fun. It's fun. He's a fun project.
Yeah.
Keyword project. We will not see Jalen Milrow playing significant quarterback snaps this year.
Hmm.
I hope, because I would probably say someone's getting injured, right?
Okay.
Um, so I but he's a fun project, and the reason why they are highly praising him is one, his work ethic's been great. So I've heard
Mhm.
he's taking this very serious. He wants to get better. He's in there doing the VR that Jane Daniels had done. He's doing this and that. He's there before everyone else, or he's
Mhm.
there with every quarterback before everyone else gets there. And he's showing flashes, and he's showing flashes. You're seeing good things while he is making mistakes. I mean, you have the 27-yard run against the Raiders. Whoa, guy can fly.
Yeah.
Next play rolls around, is fourth down. He rolls out in that boot. Probably just needs to run it and tries to make a tough throw, and obviously incomplete, turnover on downs. So we're seeing promise, but there's still some mistakes being made, and that's totally okay. We don't need Jalen Milrow to play this year. We just need him to grow and improve. And
Yeah.
these preseason games are very valuable for
Yeah.
Jalen Milrow. And I would love. It's not my decision, of course. I would love to see Jalen Milrow get a full half. I would really love to see Jalen Milrow get the full second half of a game. I want him to get want him to get as many real game reps as possible in the NFL before
Yeah.
we make a judgment call, right? So
Mhm.
that's
Mhm.
how I feel. A lot of promise, a lot to work on, but I'm excited about him, and from what I've heard, really good things, and I think he's got the right head on his shoulders to potentially take over someday if he continues to improve.
Yeah, man, I just feel like watching, Jalen Milrow. Sure, I think he has some things to improve on. He's a rookie, but man, watching like the possibility and the threat, like imagine going on bootleg with Jalen Milrow, man, where everybody just focus on the running game and then he just wide open. Man, that
Totally.
like the scheme fit with Milrow is crazy. Like, and if he could kind of like figures out as a passer. Like I don't know how he'll do as a passer, but damn, he's a threat, man. And hopefully he figures it out sooner than later. Because like I want to see that dude,
Yeah.
become the next franchise QB.
Yeah. I mean, he is a threat, and if he is able to fulfill his potential, whew, watch out. He could be really good. It gives you a little light comp Lamar Jackson vibes. You know,
Yeah,
he's got the speed, the athleticism. May not have come into the league as the most polished passer, but like is obviously willing to improve and has a great work ethic. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I like I said, I don't imagine we'll see him much this year.
mm.
So watch closely in this last preseason game because I don't think we'll see him a ton this year. Maybe weird packages like we did with the tush push, but other than that, I
Yeah.
don't envision a lot of Jalen
The
Milrow passing the football
Seahawks touch push.
this season.
All right, Tommy. So we talked about this offense and the potential for this offense, man. I think we got a strong team, but let's talk about the strength of this team, man. This defense, revamped defense, man. We got some, dogs. Demarcus Lawrence coming on the team, and some draft picks. Eamon Worry, your guy. We drafted him. Let's go.
January mock draft. Let's go.
January mock draft, but like second round, man, that was crazy, man. I never expected that. But talk about this defense, man. What do you think this defense can be under Mike McDonald year two? Because I think they can be a top five defense, man. They're really
I
good.
was just about to say it. Top five unit. Top five unit. I think this is going to be a really fun defense. There's not a lot of weakness. There's depth. Linebacker, of course. Well, we could talk about the linebacker depth. I mean, Ernest Jones is great. Tyrese Knight's battling an injury. So linebacker depth's a little spotty. But I love the D line depth. We don't. My one knock on the D line is on the edge specifically. We don't really have a game wrecker.
Yeah.
You know, and say if we went and added a guy like Trey Hendrickson, which is not going to happen, by the way, that would elevate me to think like a little irrationally about this defense. You
Yeah.
know, I mean, but they've got great depth. I mean, we'll see what Demarcus Lawrence has. I mean, I've had an up close look at him in Dallas the last few years, and I don't know whether it was schematic. I don't know if it's age catching up to him, but it wasn't. It wasn't the Demarcus Lawrence we've come to know.
Mhm.
So we'll see what he can offer us. I think Derek Hall can make another jump. I think we haven't seen the best from Boye Mafe yet. Obviously, the interior is great with Byron Murphy, Jaron Reed, and Leonard Williams. So, Chenna Nwesu just got cleared.
Mhm.
So that's another positive sign. I think a lot of depth, get fresh legs in regularly and just keep going at them. That's going to be lots of fun. I think the most fun unit, though, on the defense is going to be the secondary.
Yeah.
This secondary is going to be fun to
It's
watch.
gonna be bananas, man. Nico Munwari and Spoon playing together, man. That's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, I mean, Kobe Bryant, Julian Love, Tariq Woolen, Josh Jobe, Devin Witherspoon, Nikki Manwari. I mean, it's a nice group.
Yeah.
It's a nice group, and Manwari is just going to be a Swiss Army knife. He's going to be a weapon.
Yeah.
I mean, he's going to line up everywhere all season long. He's not going to play. He's not going to be in the field 100% of the time, but he is going to be everywhere, and he's going to be fun to watch. And obviously, Witherspoon is Witherspoon, and I'm hoping to see Tariq Woolen improve his game. We know his apparent weaknesses,
Mhm.
and I want to see where he's come from there.
Yeah, he didn't get paid
But
too. He didn't get paid, and his draft colleagues got paid. So he's
got paid.
yeah.
So let's see it. Let's see it, Reek. Let's see it. If he balls, he is one of one. He's a one of one type player. There's no 6'4" guys out there playing corner who can run a 4.240.
Yeah, yeah,
So like if he can clean up those little things, like let's pay the guy.
Yeah.
It's a money year for Tariq. It's a money year. So let's see what he can do.
Yeah, yeah, man. I'm super excited, man. Talk okay, because you're in Dallas. Do you think
Hmm.
there's a chance Jerry Jones lets go of Micah Parsons?
No, no, not at all.
So that dream is
There's
dead.
no
A lot
way.
of Seahawks fans talking about that. So that dream is dead, right?
Yeah, there's absolutely no chance. If Micah Parsons was going to get traded,
Mhm.
he already would have been.
Yeah,
He already would have been 100%. They're just going to get this thing ironed out. I mean, Micah Parsons doesn't really have to practice. Like that sounds really ignorant, and a lot of people would roll their eyes and be saying that. But
yeah,
he's my he's been doing this since he stepped foot in the league. Like
yeah,
missing a little bit of training camp isn't going to really affect him at all,
yeah,
and it's just a matter of getting the contract done. But he's not going to get traded. Jerry Jones isn't. He people have their opinions. Jerry Jones, he's not an idiot.
mm,
Like he knows that guy's their heart and soul on defense, and they're gonna have to get that done. So
yeah.
they're gonna get it done.
So,
Uh, John, yeah, the Seahawks are gonna make another big trade. I don't see it. Think about the Jamal Adams trade and how
yeah,
far that set us back. I don't think with where we're at right now, with how promising we're gonna just all in it and then
yeah.
ruin it.
Plus, it's a
In the off
very
chance that we ruin it.
yeah. Plus, it's a very young team, right? Like I don't think like they go out and just like give out like a first round pick for Trey Hendrickson or like because like I'm hearing like I saw like Josina Anderson's tweet like they want a first round pick for Trey Hendrickson.
And then pay him? I don't think so.
Yeah,
I don't think so. And Seattle's got a lot of contracts coming up. It just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. It's going to be, think we're, well, here's the deal. You go at a guy like Micah Parsons or Trey Hendrickson, that signals all in, right? That's the all in alarms going, right? Does Micah Parsons or Trey Hendrickson put us past the Eagles in a game in Philly?
yeah.
Do we go beat Philly in January because of having Micah Parsons or Trey Hendrickson?
I don't think so. Yeah,
I don't think so either. I think you just have to be real about it.
yeah,
Once hopefully, we're gonna stop making it easy on them in the draft. Um, they kind of have to start to retool. That's when you go strike. But I think right now they're as strong as they've ever been, and I don't see a move for Seattle to make this year that would put them over the top, at least on paper. Like they would not be favored Vegas wise in any game against Philly in a postseason, even after adding either Hendrickson or Parsons.
yeah, yeah. I think the mindset should be this year just win your division because it's very gettable, right? This division, like it's not what it used to be. Like Matthew Stafford with a back issue, probably there's a lot of people saying that he might go into surgery. San Francisco is just falling apart. Man, I think this division is gettable. So just win your division, and get in the playoffs, win a playoff game. I think that should be the goal rather than just like shoot for the Super Bowl this year, which is like you should every year, but like don't like
Of course.
sell the farm to like for unrealistic expectations. I think so, right?
But I think for Seattle, before we talk Super Bowl, we got to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
We have to make the playoffs. We have to win a game in the playoffs, which we haven't done in a very long time.
Hmm.
We got to take those steps before the big step, and before we can really talk about Super Bowl and all of that. But I love the direction that we're going in, and I think we're doing great things. And I agree. I agree with what you said about the division. It's wide open. As a matter of fact, I think Seattle will win the division this year, bearing injuries.
Yeah.
I think that's something that's kind of bit us the past few years as well as injuries.
Yeah.
But bearing any significant injuries, I have no reason to think that Seattle probably shouldn't win the division.
Yeah.
I think that the Rams are probably a more complete team. Maybe I don't know. And we're close. How about that?
Yeah.
The Rams and Seahawks are going to come down to like the last few games.
Yeah.
I no matter what, I think it's going to be very similar to this year.
Yeah.
I think it's going to come down to very minimal games
or tiebreakers
against the Rams. Yeah, the games against the Rams this year are going to be critical games. And that dang tiebreaker last year, we had to watch 13 different games, and they have to end. It just.
Yeah,
I mean,
man, that last year's home game was just too crazy. Like you had like all these picks and all these stuff, and then you went to overtime and you couldn't get 1 yard. It was just like a crazy funky game, man. So yeah,
I mean, we're sitting here acting like the Seahawks were a bad team last year. I mean, they won 10 games.
yeah,
Probably they should have been 11-6 and division champs. That Rams game at home was despicable. What a despicable loss that was. I mean, like they had. I mean, the Rams tried to hand it to them on a platter,
yeah,
and they just they couldn't do it. So I think this year Seattle does bounce back and go ahead and win the division, and I'm surprised people aren't talking about that like that because it seems like nobody is talking about Seattle winning the division, and it's
yeah,
outside of Seattle at least, and it's weird to me because I think Seattle. If you ask me, I think Seattle should be the favorites to win the division.
yeah,
I mean, I know Jared Verse and that whole Ramsey line's young; they're going to make a jump, but I mean, the Seahawks have a lot of youth too that are going to make a jump. And I probably sound like a biased Seahawks fan, but I just see it. If this offensive line clicks, like it's looking like it might,
yeah,
there's no reason to think that we couldn't go 11-6 and win the division.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Man, I'm super excited, man. I think a lot of people, like from the national standpoint, I think a lot of people are not high on Sam Darnold, but that's the reason. Like they're not saying, "Hey, Seahawks are winning the division," because they feel like, "Oh, we saw the last game with Sam Darnold against the Rams, and like he got beat up," and so they kind of like equating the things with. So they're saying like they feel like Minnesota had a better roster than Seattle last year. I mean, other than the offensive line, maybe yeah, and receiver. Like I think you could say that maybe Minnesota did have a better roster, but this year I
They
think
do.
yeah, people are kind of like underestimating like the coaching staff that we brought in, and because like these guys are like some serious dudes, man. This like this new coaching staff from the offense.
I just think with what we're seeing is not what the casual eye can see.
Yeah,
Nobody knows the Seahawks like we as Seattle fans know the Seahawks. And nobody sees what Seattle is showing right now is anything different. But as Seahawks fans, we see it and we're like, we haven't seen anything like this in a long time.
yeah,
This type of promise and this type of improvement, the crisp offense, the ability to run the football. Like again, I could be mid December and I could sound so dumb right
yeah,
now, but I can only speak on what I'm seeing right now, and that is what I'm seeing. And so I think sooner or later we'll find out for ourselves, and everyone will find out who the Seattle Seahawks are.
yeah,
But I do like what I see. I do like what I see.
yeah. Man, and we got like almost 2.5 weeks, man, till the Seahawks play, man. That is crazy. Just to think about that, man. The regular season is in 2.5 weeks. Next week we're gonna have our predictions week. Tommy. So get your predictions ready. And guys, come on the show. Listen for those predictions because we're gonna have some jersey giveaways as well. And inside the season, we're gonna have some ticket giveaways as well. So how about that, Tommy? Some season ticket
All
giveaways
right.
and some jersey giveaways. So especially the new rivalries, which I'm looking forward to.
Yes, yes, I'm excited. Week one is going to be a banger right off the rip.
Yeah.
49ers coming to town. Let's I think that's an opportunity to make a statement. I
Yep.
really do.
Definitely.
And hopefully they can do it. We'll definitely touch up on that though
Yeah.
next week for sure.
Next week
We'll get more into
prediction.
depth there.
Yep. Next week prediction weeks, guys. Stay tuned, and till then, we will catch you guys next week. So 12th man out.